Hello everyone. I'm going to invite Radikesh now. Long time we didn't see each other. Let's see. Hello. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
We are very well, especially when I realize that we are finally here.
It's been
We're starting.
some time.
Yeah.
Yes,
So how are you?
I am great. I am very happy to be with you and all of your listeners. It's wonderful. This is great, great time to talk about astrology and all of that. So yes, very wonderful. And how are things going in the UK?
In the UK now it's rainy and the mode is slow, like more thinking about the philosophy of our life, what for
Very
we are
good.
living, why we are here. Can you please share with us any latest news about astrology? Like, I
Of
mean,
course,
the
of
planets, the
course.
movements around
Yes.
this universe.
Let's talk about that. And you know why this is so important. If some of the people who are watching or listening, they may not understand a lot about astrology, is that the movement of the planets has such an influence on us, and we think we control a lot of things that happen in our life, but the movement of the planets has a lot to do with the things that happen in our life, the good and the bad things that happen, how we react to things, when we make money, when a relationship is going to work, when a relationship is going to cause difficulty or there may be some fighting. So all of that is affected by these planetary influence. So it's good to know. So right now, let me see what we have going on. We have the sun is in Uttarabhadra Nakshatra. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, this is, and Rahu is with it. Rahu is in Revati Nakshatra. Nakshatras are certain stars within the constellations. So let's look at, each of these and see how they're going to affect us. When the sun is in Uttarabhadra Nakshatra, it means that we can focus and concentrate on something that we want to do, some work that we want to do and be successful in, especially if it's something different or unusual, change from what we've done in the past. Okay. And when Rahu is in Revati, when they're together, it means that if we do something new or different, if we do something that we may have thought about for a long time, but just never got around to doing it, there could be success in something like that. Now, this can be your business, this can be your relationship, this can be related to your own health, so many different things. And at the same time, Ketu, which is kind of the opposite planet of Rahu, is in Hasta, which means if you continue with the routine, with the same thing, what you're always used to doing, it won't give you the same results. So it means, at least for the next few days, as these planets are moving, try to do something new or different. Or for many of you, it may be that I've been, wanting to start an exercise program. This will be a great time to do it. I've been wanting to talk to my partner about a particular relationship issue that we've been having. This is the time to do it. I've been wanting to make this particular change in my life, that, I want to start becoming more spiritually focused. I want to start doing some meditation, whatever it may be. Again, a great time to start those things. Revati, which is the last nakshatra, means the star of prosperity and gain. So it's a very good influence for people to look at. And the moon, actually, let's look at Mars. Mars and Saturn are both in Satabisha nakshatra. So when these two very powerful planetary influences of work and energy are in Satabisha, it means that clearly explain to yourself and to others around you what it is that you need. Don't be hesitant. Don't keep things inside. Let things out. Okay? Because otherwise it's going to turn into something toxic or frustrating, and it's just, don't keep things inside. Um, and if you're, starting a business or something like that, if you can clearly explain your ideas to other people, you will get effect and influence on those people. Like they'll support you, they'll help you, all of this kind of thing. The moon, the moon is in Swati, and this Swati represents the same, similar to what we're hearing from with Satabisha. It means that, understand what it is that you want. Go forward and do it. Don't be hesitant. Swati means like the sword, find your own way forward, do things. Don't follow the routine. For the next few days, if you do exactly what you're normally used to doing, it just won't give you the results that are going to be beneficial. So this is what's happening in the next few days. Of course, we do have the eclipse, solar eclipse coming up early August. So that is also something to,
Early
talk
April,
about
you
it.
mean?
I'm sorry, early
Yeah.
April. Yes, April 8th. We have the solar eclipse coming up. So eclipses, the solar eclipse occurs when the moon is in between the sun and the earth. Okay, so this is what you're seeing. So basically, eclipses happen on new moon day when all three, the earth, the sun, and the moon align. So lunar eclipses, you have the earth in the middle. Solar eclipses, you have the sun and the moon in the middle. So in eclipses in general, okay, they have kind of a heavy negative influence. I know people, we talk about, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to watch the eclipse and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Stay away from eclipses, okay? They can have very heavy inauspicious effects. If you're already going through a difficult time, it can really massively enhance that, And at that time, you're going to have the sun and Rahu and the moon, and Venus all together. So it can affect relationships. It can affect, your financial situation. It can affect, health problems, especially if you have like problems related to like the ovaries or the uterus, or, you have problems with your periods. It can really enhance all of those things. So the best thing to do is just during the time of the eclipse, just stay away, stay inside, and things will be much more peaceful. That's what I'll say about eclipses. Since we're not going to be speaking again for 2 weeks, it's important for people to know that just be cautious of, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. Stay inside, allow that negative energy to pass, because these are not auspicious events in our life.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So I
So
hope everyone now is aware of what is going on
a lot
around.
going on,
Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe you can just well, we will meet in 2 weeks. We'll talk about the eclipses more detailed. But what about our next topic for today, when we going to discuss our couple?
Our couple today, this is a very interesting couple. This is David and Victoria Beckham. Okay, very well-known, famous couple out there. These two, and we'll talk about both of their charts a little bit, but this is a perfect example of two people whose, though they have very kind of heavy marital karma, related to marriage, there's a lot of negative planets around there, but each one at different times in their life balance the other one out. So when David's going through, heavy marital karma, Victoria balances his out. When she's going through difficulties, he's going through a better period. So they really are able to, calm each other's worst tendencies, or they're able to, when one person wants to pull away, the other one is able to keep things strong in the relationship. So this is something you do see, a lot of couples, they'll go through times. And this is a very common. I've mentioned this before. There's just times when it's bad for one person or the other person. And if we can recognize it, okay, my husband or my wife is going through this very heavy astrological influence, whether it's Saturn or Rahu or whatever it is, this will pass and they'll kind of get back to their normal self. So if we can recognize those, and we see this nicely in their relationship, if we can recognize those, we realize that a little bit of patience, tolerance, understanding, and just recognizing that we are not fully in control of all the things that happen can really help us get through these difficulties in a very good way. You know, one of my really important goals for both of us here today, and the reason we're making these podcasts, is that we want to help relationships. For any of you out there who are suffering through relationship problems, this is one of our primary goals, to help people understand that relationships can be saved. Relationships cannot just be saved, they can be absolutely wonderful together, where both of you are having such happiness and joy out of that relationship. It's just understanding things at a little bit of a deeper level. So let's talk about David and Viktoria. Let me pull
I
up
didn't know
both of
she
their
is
charts.
1 year older than he, you see?
Yeah, you have you learn all kinds of stuff about these people. So let's see. David Beckham, he's born, very nice planetary influences here. David is born with his moon in Uttarashad Nakshatra. Uttarashad Nakshatra means, it refers to someone who's like, you know, a leader, very powerful. They'll achieve victory, they'll achieve success, they'll do the things necessary to get there. And fame is associated with this. And the other thing associated with this nakshatra is idealism. Like, they care, they want society to be better. It's not just about, okay, I want to be successful, I want to be the best, nobody else matters. No, it's actually a very different influence. He wants to be successful and needs the energy to be successful. But at the same time, there's this very idealistic energy of what I want the world to be peaceful, I want people to be happy, all of this kind of thing. His Mars is the planet of, your physical energy, your success. Obviously, he's a very powerful football player. Mars in Purva Bhadra Nakshatra means aggression, dominance, being strong, working hard to achieve what you need. And Viktoria, she's born under the influence of Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta refers to the drum or the symphony. Interestingly, in her case, because she's a very, talented musician. And when someone is born under the influence of Dhanishta, they become very successful in music. Okay, musical scale, again, they have wealth and influence and success. Just like, so both of them are people who are very, ambition is there, drive is there. The past life karma brings very strong influences to work toward their goals. So for David, Purva Bhadra Nakshatra gives in Mars in Purva Bhadra gives him the ability to be successful in physical activities. Okay. For Viktoria, the influence of Dhanishta gives her the ability to be successful in music. Now, because they both have this very high ambition, desire for success, desire for fame, desire for influence, to be a leader, they both have this strong leader energy in their charts. These are two people who could get along very well together. Okay, but of course they could also clash. So you have to look at, how their planets influence each other. David has very heavy influences around the house of marriage. They both do. David has the influence of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, and the Sun. Okay, all of these planets going around marriage. So kind of heavy malefic influences or negative influences around this. Viktoria has Saturn, Mars, Rahu, and Ketu also. So, both of them have influences there that make it a little bit challenging. Okay, put it that way. A little bit challenging for marriage. So what happens? They got married in 1999. David entered his Rahu period, okay, in 1993, 18-year period of his life he entered. So he entered Rahu. So Rahu is malefic influence. But what Rahu does, Rahu gives him gain and success in his life, because Rahu's influencing the 11th house in the sign of Jupiter. So in every arena, in everything that he does, okay, there's going to be gain and success. Rahu can give you success to the highest levels. And when Rahu is in Anuradha Nakshatra, it means at least at the beginning of, and which is under the influence of Venus, it means at least at the beginning of his life, there's a lot of or during this Rahu period, sorry, there's a lot of like gain related to money, related to relationships, all of these things. So what happened? They got married 1999. Both were in a very good Jupiter influence at the time.
Mm.
Okay, so this was beneficial for both of them. And then if we look and we where their charts go through, difficulties, one is in a good place and the other is in a bad place at the same time. So 2014 and 15, we have David going through heavy Saturn influence. At the same time, Victoria's in a very good Mercury influence. So whatever crazy things he's doing, whatever difficulties he's creating during that time, because of Saturn, her Mercury, her ability to talk and communicate and intellectually think about things and kind of calm the problem down is there. So this is a very more gentle intellectual energy as opposed to the heavy karma that Saturn brings. So at that time, whatever was going on, she was able to calm things down. 2019, David goes into Ketu and his Sadesati is going on through that time until 2023. Okay. She goes into a very good Venus period in 2019. So when he's in this heavy Ketu influence, and Ketu's directly looking at the house of marriage, and Ketu is with Venus, the planet of marriage. So from David's perspective, like, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. It's hurting me. It's keeping me from living the life I want. She's in this very strong Venus energy that, no, I'm going to protect the marriage. I'm going to do the things necessary to save things. So they're able to really balance each other out so nicely during that time. Now, that doesn't last forever, okay? Because at some point, both people are going to go through negative influences at the same time, which can be difficult. And that's coming up, 2025 to 2027, when David Beckham goes into this kind of heavy influence of Rahu, okay? Rahu is debilitated in his charts. It's a little bit weaker. And Rahu is directly in the seventh house. Okay, Rahu is a very powerful influence. So when this Rahu is looking directly between 2025 and 2027, it's influencing directly the seventh house. And she is not having anything, unfortunately, protective for her going on at that time, because in 2026, she's in a heavy Saturn Rahu influence. So you have both Rahu clashes coming at the same time. So David may be, not as focused on his marriage, but at the same time, Victoria is going to not be as focused on her marriage. The protection that her planets would bring to that relationship are no longer going to be there. And so that may bring some very kind of heavy challenges to where these two are in the relationship. So we'll have to watch 2026, especially, and into 2027 to see what turmoil happens related to that relationship. So this is, a very nice example for everyone out there that we can simply try to work through problems, try to work through difficulties, because we all go through different times when things are challenging. So this was one of the few examples that I've seen of, really this marriage was meant to stay together for a long time. And the planetary influence was just so nice that they were able to protect their relationship, despite the difficulties or problems that must have come up.
Mhm. What about the health? Do you think, I don't know why, just
Yeah,
wondering, maybe there could be a reason connected to the health of one of them.
it's a possibility because David Beckham's Rahu is going into the eighth house in his Navamsha chart, which can mean some health-related problems to the spouse or things like that. But this indicates more, when you're dealing with Rahu, this indicates more, maybe
Mental
cheating.
something.
Yeah, it could be cheating, could be mental, so many different influences. But usually indicates like something sudden, some difficulty that comes on. And under the influence of Scorpio, the best thing David Beckham could do is keep the association, the people who are around him, strong. Because when he goes into Rahu, he's very much influenced by the people around him. So if he's around kind of good, stable people, then the effect is reduced. If he's going to be around people who are unhappy in their own marriages, or doing things they shouldn't within marriage, then he's going to run into difficulties. But it looks more like that than anything else. But certainly, you always keep in the mind the influence of health-related problems, because the influence of Jupiter, okay, on the house of marriage is there, and Rahu is influencing the 11th house. That means health problems, if they happen, are less likely to be the main issue, but certainly something to keep in mind. It looks more like just, fighting, distrust within the relationship that, at some point can't be balanced out anymore. So let's see during those years what happens next couple of years with these two.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. This is
Of course, of
this is
course.
really interesting. I don't know. I think that for some of our viewers would be much more interesting to listen about them. So I'm encouraging you to join our conversation, sending your details, and we will discuss your partnership the same way as we are doing it with celebrities. Please don't
Absolutely.
be shy. Don't be shy. And I will announce it on my Instagram and promote this opportunity for more people. So then we can go for that for our Prashnas. What do you
Oh,
think?
yes. Let me take a look at both of these. We had two Prashnas,
Yeah.
and the first one was related to so Prashnas, for those of you out there who don't know what Prashnas are.
Yeah, let's
Prashnas are,
explain.
are questions, okay? So say you're sitting in you know, kitchen on what is today? On today's date at you know, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and you decide to ask a question. Recognize that everything you ask, everything you do, it's related to the entire universe, okay? And the universe is trying to help you in your journey, in all the things. It wants you to be happy. This is our default mode, is to be happy, okay? Our nature is to be always happy and blissful. But we don't always feel that way because we're not aligned with our universal energy. So when you ask a question, so it's a relationship question or job related question, whatever it may be, the moment you ask that question, I can create a chart for that exact moment in time. And then based on the planetary influences at that time, you can answer that question in the deepest and wisest way. So this is what a prashna is, that you can ask a question. And that doesn't mean, hey, what's the, make a logarithmic graph of, it's not like a mathematical question, but this is like a question about your life, these type of things. Very important that you can look at. So we had two questions. The first one was asked on February 21st at 1950 in Munich.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question was about, will this relationship work out? Will this person be with me in 2 months? Okay. Some relative to that. So let's look at this. To the person who's asking the question, good afternoon, how are you? So several things related to this. Number one, you want this person to be in a very particular way. You have expectations of how you want him to be. You want him to fit in a certain mold or be a certain type of person for you. Okay. He's not going to be like that. So if you want to make this relationship work, so the answer to your question, can this work? Yes, but it's going to require some flexibility on your part. Okay. He's not going to change. He's going to stay exactly how he is. And you have to be willing to accept him that way. If you're willing to do that, you can have some success in this relationship. Okay. But if you have your very particular set of this is what my partner should be like, and it should be no different than this, like very exact specifications, then you won't be together. Okay, so astrology is never written in stone. There are many things we can do to make changes. You have this kind of influence of Ketu in Chitra Nakshatra, which means that, Chitra is a planet of beauty and things like that. So in this case, it's that you want him to, not necessarily physical beauty, internal beauty, all this, you want him to be a certain way. And he's not reaching that point right now. So be flexible, wait, accept him for who he is or she is, whichever question is coming from, and things can work out. But if you're not able to do that, then you move on to the next person. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually so important to know that we actually can't change other people. We can change only ourselves. And to
That's
improve
right.
our relationships, first of all, we have to accept our partner as he or she is.
That's exactly right.
Mm.
We have to just accept people where they are. And,
Yeah.
every one of us has been made differently by God. And we have many, many good qualities. And in a relationship, one of the best things you can do is focus on the good and positive qualities of your partner rather than focusing on the negative things that are there. If we enhance and grow and encourage the positive qualities that a partner may have, then this helps them become the best version of themselves. And again, if both people do that for each other, they both become the best version of themselves and the relationship can be happy. So say you're a musician, but your partner is someone who has no ability or interest in music, and maybe there's someone who is someone who likes to be in nature and do some landscaping, grow plants and things like that. You should encourage each other in your own activity, in the thing that you like to do. And if you can do that, you become a much better artist and you're happier. Your partner becomes a much better horticulturist and they're happier. And then you grow together, because you're supporting each other in your natural talents. So people can be very different from each other. But if they both work on the relationship by supporting their partner, things can work out very well.
Yeah, thank you. So the second question?
Second question. Let's take a look.
I can read it if you
Okay.
want. So the question is, will my project be successful? And it was tasked.
I have it.
Yeah,
Latvia, Riga,
yeah,
Latvia,
yeah.
February 21st at 8 p.m.
Right.
Will my project be successful? So, yes, your project can be successful, but very, very important. It's completely up to you. If you are willing to work with others, take others' ideas in, and use them, this project can be very successful. If you try to do it on your own or only with your own ideas, it won't give you the same success. Friends will help you, people will help you, people will support you if you get them involved. You have the influence of Mercury. Okay, Mercury is strong in your chart or in your Prashna chart. Mercury is under Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta means the drum. Okay, strong influence of Mars. So this means explain things to people, talk to people, bring people together in this project. Don't try to just go alone. Uh, Dhanishta is the stars Alpha and Delta Delphinius in the sky. If you want to look in the sky and see where this is coming from. So this is the end of Capricorn, beginning of Aquarius, 2320 Capricorn to 6 degrees and 40 minutes Aquarius is the time we're talking about. So you can be very successful in this work and achieve your goals. Two things, it won't be smooth. Little blocks, difficulties, obstacles will keep coming up. But I see no problem in you being able to overcome those. You will be able to do that. work with other people. If somebody wants to become like a partner on your project or want, I'm not sure what your project is, but if somebody wants to take a big role in it, be cautious. You want to keep full control over what you're doing. But other people to give you guidance, to give you help, to give you support, this project can do very well. So it's always about not, and be a little bit, be open to those new ideas. So whatever your project is, if somebody's saying, oh, if you add this in, it will be helpful. Be open to new ideas. Be open to the help and support of other people. But overall, retain control over your project, and I think it can do well.
I hope that the person who has asked it will listen to your advices. This actually really, really helpful, I guess, for those, because sometimes we can meet first difficulties on our way and think that this is the sign that we shouldn't proceed or something is going wrong and we have to change our activity or our project
Right.
at all. But sometimes it's so nice to know that this is just the process, the life, and we will.
Exactly. And I think, you will be happy with the results in this project, whatever it may
Mm.
be, if you're willing to do that. A lot of times, astrology helps us. I mean, astrology helps us in so many different ways, but in a situation like this, it helps because you get a little peek at the future of what's next, and sometimes if you see some heavy negative influences, you can say, look, this is probably, change your direction, things like that. But in this case, you have Sun and Saturn together in the sixth house. Okay. And though the sixth house is considered kind of a malefic place or difficult place, for some planets, it's very good. For the Sun, for Saturn, for Mars, for
Mhm.
Rahu, for Ketu, this is actually a good place many of the times. So it doesn't mean you don't deal with obstacles or things don't go smoothly, but you get results. So keep focused, keep direct, and I think the results, keep directly working on it, and I think the results can come. So this is not something to shy away from.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all the people who is asking the questions. And I once again encourage you to join our conversation, sharing with us your questions and your details. What if you would like to be the hero and you would like to know the astrological new sides of the situation. Yeah, so please don't be shy. Join us. We will be happy to help you. This is actually that everything that we planned to discuss, right?
Yes, one thing that I would like to add for any of you out there is that think of astrology as just it's a tool. Okay, it's a tool for you. Just like, you know, you have different sciences. You have, engineering science, you have food science, you have medicine, you have physics, you have chemistry. We use all of these things to enhance and improve our life. So use astrology, which is another science. It's a very ancient science. Uh, but use it to help enhance your life and get a understanding of how to improve the things that are there, so you can get a lot of insight into what may be going on in your own life, or if you're in a partnership with somebody, whether it's a business or a relationship, you get a lot of insight into who they are and what their life is like, and how is the best way that I'm going to connect with my partner. All of this very important. So please use this science to help you and here we talk more about relationships. Use this science to help your relationships become better.
Okay. Yeah. I absolutely agree with your opinion. Thank you so much. We're finishing this stream. I wish all of you, all the best. Have a good day and keep in touch. We'll see each other soon, right?
Absolutely. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.